Yes. Good morning, everybody, and good evening too. First, chanting of Om 3 times, and then we'll start the classes. Om. 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 Welcome, everybody, and good morning and good evening too. So, we are just discussing Chinese acupressure as well as Ayurvedic acupressure. At the same time, we wish that we should have an understanding of modern science too. That's why BHB, Basics of Human Body, has to be understood by us. Now, Devika Rani, she's a teacher, she is a faculty today, and she has been guiding you regarding principles of basics of human body. So she was earlier she was just discussing with you the blood, which is very important part of our body. Now I welcome Devika, and I just hand over to Devika. Should I share or something, or you will?
I will.
Okay.
I have my presentation ready.
Welcome,
Thank you.
Devika.
Thank
Please
you.
continue.
Thank you, well, sir. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this class. So we shall continue with blood. Last time we had seen what is blood, a fluid connective tissue, its components. We discussed that blood has three types of cells: erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. So we had finished with erythrocytes and what happens when if it is less or more, and different types of anemia. So now we'll move on with leukocytes or white blood cells. So I'll just start with the presentation. So please do let me know if you're able to see it or not. Is everyone able to see this presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Would request everyone to please mute themselves now because otherwise my voice starts echoing. So we start with leukocytes today, or white blood cells. Now these cells are very, very important when it comes to your body's defense system, your body's immune system, fighting against any kind of foreign body which is not suitable for you, any kind of infection or disease. And these are complete cells with the nucleus and organelles. Erythrocyte, initially they had nucleus, but when they mature finally, they don't have it. But these have a proper nucleus like a cell and the organelles. They are continuously produced in the bone marrow and the lymphoid tissues. So lymphatic system is a chapter you learn in other later semesters. So there you will learn in detail more how, what is the whole lymphatic system about. But for now, please understand that these cells are made in also in the lymphoid tissues as well. Their shape is mostly round and globular. In their cytoplasm, there are lobes which have divided nucleus. The cytoplasm is either clear and transparent, or they have granules in them and translucent. Their lifespan is around 3 to 200 days. Their fundamental work is phagocytosis, this word comes from the Greek word phagon, to eat, and kytos, cell. It is a process by which a cell uses its plasma membrane to engulf a large particle. So a cell which performs this is called a phagocyte. So in multicellular organisms like us, in their immune system, the phagocytosis is a major mechanism used to remove pathogens or external unwanted foreign bodies like bacteria, etc., virus, and also the cell debris of dead cells and all. So bacteria, dead tissue cells, and small mineral particles are all examples of objects that may be phagocytosized. So if we see, so your white blood cells are divided into two types, granulocytes and agranulocytes, depending on whether they have granules in their cytoplasm or not. So you see three types of white blood cells, neutrophil, eosinophil, and basophil have granules in their cytoplasm, whereas monocyte and lymphocytes, they do not have granules. So they are agranulocytes. Now we start with neutrophils. So as we saw, this is the granulocyte. So if you actually see, all the granulocytes have fill behind them. And the agranulocytes are, in the end, they have cyte. So this is how you can remember. And this question can be asked also to you. So the granulocytes are neutrophil, eosinophil, and basophil with the fill in the end. And agranulocytes are monocyte and lymphocyte with this cyte in the end. Now, a neutrophil, they are type of white blood cells that act as your immune system's first line of defense. Like you see in a war, when there is an attack, you have those soldiers in front, the foot soldiers who first go and attack, they engage with the enemy. So this is what a neutrophil does. So as we just read, neutrophils are a subset of granulocytes along with eosinophils and basophil cells. In their cytoplasm are fine granules which contain powerful lysosomes, right, which are digestive like enzymes that digest and destroy invading pathogens. If you remember this chapter on cell and their organelles, lysosomes are one which ingest, right? So these granules contain powerful lysosomes. Their size is around 8 to 12 micron. Shape is round and globular. So their nucleus is mostly divided into normally 2 to 5 lobes, and their lifespan is around 13 to 16 days. They are, 50 to 70%, as in the most number of total leukocytes. That is in the differential leukocyte count, that 55 to 70% is their share out of total leukocytes. During infections like influenza, typhoid, measles, etc., their percentage reduces due to their fighting of the infection. But in a case like hemorrhage, etc., their percentage in blood count increases initially as a response. Now we go to eosinophil. So they are also members of the infantry. Again, the soldiers who go and fight the enemy. So these are around 10 to 14 micron with sand-like granules to detoxify. Their nucleus is divided into 2 to 3 lobes. In their cytoplasm are coarse granules. And their share in the leukocyte count is 2 to 3%. So if you see in eosinophil in allergic conditions such as bronchial asthma or intestinal worms, they increase in number and neutralize the toxins. So whenever there is an allergic condition in the body, they are released and then they work on the pathogens causing this allergy. You know, so they are found in large numbers in respiratory and digestive systems. So please remember in allergic conditions, eosinophil plays a role. In neutrophil, you can remember that how you can remember is they are like the first line of defense. They are the ones who really go and attack first in eosinophil. They come out in allergic conditions more. Now we have basophils. Their differential leukocyte count, DLC share is only about 0.5% to 1%. And, as compared when you take the whole total leukocyte count. They are around round in shape, 15 to 16 micron granules. Their cytoplasm is with a horse or S-shaped nucleus with thick granules in them in which heparin and histamine elements are found. So heparin, there's in case of any issue, these elements are released from a basophil. So in what now when is heparin released? Heparin inhibits reactions that lead to the clotting of blood and the formation of fibrin clots. So it does the opposite. Rather than clotting, it will help in stopping the clotting. So it is also given in medicines which stop clotting. And histamine is a chemical in your immune system. It is mainly released, when the body feels that there is a foreign body which is not right for the body and has entered your system. So it starts causing allergy symptoms. It starts reacting in such a way. For example, if sand enters your nose, so you can start sneezing or you can tear up, or if something else happens, you can itch. So all these things is a reaction which happens because histamine is released to try to um, stop the foreign body from acting, which the body thinks is not good for you, to stop it from acting, harming your body. Histamine is released. Their number also increases when an injured tissue is healing. So they release such kind of elements which ensure that an injured tissue is healing. So over here, you can remember that um, from their granules, heparin and histamine elements are found. Now we go to monocytes. Now these are agranulocytes. Okay, when you say in these round, when I say round is the shape, 14 to 20 micron agranulocytes nucleus is there. It is big and kidney shaped. The cytoplasm's quantity is less and is transparent. Their share in the differential leukocyte count is 2 to 8%. So they are like our infantry sweeper groups, which continuously remove the dead and infirm, whatever um, cells have died or which are not performing up to the mark. They remove them. So they clean up. So they're like macrophages, which can use phagocytosis. They eat and engulf and destroy the debris and the invaders. And if they feel that, there are cells which are not really working properly and are worn out, they'll retire them, as in they will get them filtered. They will get them removed. Macrophages in the spleen clean up the debris and old cells from the blood, but they also help T lymphocytes recognize foreign invaders. Some monocytes turn into macrophages in the tissues as well, ingesting bacteria, virus, debris, and any cells that have been infected or are sick. So here they do the defense as well. In chronic ailments, their number is found to be large. Otherwise, their increased numbers indicate that in the body, healing process is also going on because there's a lot of cleaning and removing and happening inside the body of unwanted material. Their lifespan is of 10 to 20 days. Now we have a lymphocyte. These are round in shape of 8 to 12 micron diameter. They are agranulocytes of smaller size, 8 to 9, and bigger ones of size 10 to 12 microns. Now, there is a single round nucleus in it, and the cytoplasm is transparent. So, we said leukocytes are of two type, having granules, and the other and translucent, and there are one which are clear and transparent. So, the agranulocytes are clear and transparent. In the bigger ones, the nucleus is near the cell membrane. In all these lymphocytes, their share is 20 to 40% in DLC. Now, they have two main functions. They provide nutrition to the fighter cells, trephons, and they produce antibodies against the enemy cells after assessing their strength. So, they fight. And we'll read about them a little more after some time. So their production is mainly in lymphoid tissues. Here, their production is mainly in lymphoid tissues. Please remember that for lymphocytes. Their lifespan is around 3 to 200 days. They increase in case of infections like mumps, tuberculosis, and other microbial infections. And their numbers decrease in case of malnutrition, starvation, in antibiotic and sulfa medicines. In case you have them, they can reduce their numbers. Actually, now that we've gone, you can go back and just have one look again at the diagram so you will be a little more clear. So if you look at the nucleus, like what we've said, the granules, the lobes, the nucleus, and how these are clear. So this is like showing histamine release from the basophils. So, and this is a monocyte, macrophage eating up. This is secreting antibodies for defense. So we will go more into it later. Now we have leukemia. Now, leukemia is a cancer of the blood which is characterized by the rapid growth of abnormal blood cells. So, this uncontrolled growth takes place in the bone marrow. One, it is uncontrolled, and the blood cells formed are abnormal, not the normal ones. There is abnormality in them. Leukemia starts when the DNA of a single cell in the bone marrow changes or mutates and can't develop and function normally. Leukemia cells are usually immature. They are still developing white blood cells. That means they don't really have that kind of strength and ability to fight. The term leukemia comes from the Greek word for white leukos and blood, hemia. Every day, the bone marrow makes billions of new blood cells, and most of them are red cells. When one has leukemia, the body makes more white cells than it needs. But these leukemia cells, they can't fight infection the way normal white blood cells do. And because of that, they start to affect the way the organs work. Over time, one may not have enough red blood cells to supply oxygen, enough platelets to clot the blood, or enough normal white blood cells also to fight infection. So the condition of a person really deteriorates. Now, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, which is also called AIDS. Now, AIDS is a disease that can develop in people who have the HIV virus. It's actually, once the HIV virus enters your system, this is the last stage goes up to AIDS, is results in AIDS after your immune system has been compromised. So, human immunodeficiency virus is a virus that damages the immune system. It attacks cells that helps the body fight infection, making a person more vulnerable to other infections and diseases. The virus attaches with glycoprotein CD4 present in the outer surface of lymphocytes, helper T lymphocytes. We'll come to that later. This glycoprotein is responsible for the formation of cytotoxics, as in the cells which kill T and B lymphocytes, which form antibodies by reading the chemical bonds of enemies. This virus makes the leukocytes unable to perform their function, and hence the person will not be able to fight against infections and become sick forever, leading to death. So, obviously, none of the leukocytes can fight against infection. Ultimately, what will happen? The infections, one after the other, the person starts having infections, and when the body can't fight, of course, then ultimately the person has no immunity at all, leading to death. Because HIV inserts itself into the DNA of cells, it's a lifelong condition. And currently, there is no drug that eliminates HIV from the body. Only prevention is the possibility to be careful and prevention. Now, the third type of blood cell, which is a thrombocyte, which we in normal language know as platelets. So they are 2 to 3 micron and are smallest cells. They are biconvex, disc-shaped, and non-nucleated. Again, they don't have a nucleus. Total count is 2.5, so around plus 1 lakh per CUMM. They are continuously produced in bone marrow. It should be plus minus, sorry. They are continuously produced in the bone marrow. In their cytoplasm there are several granules, especially hydroxy, uh, triphamine, and thromboplastin enzymes, which are important for clotting. They also have other enzymes and glycogen, ribonucleic protein in their cytoplasm. These are like the mobile security guards and help in partial phagocytosis, partial, not full, and form patches on epithelium of blood vessels to stop day-to-day damages. And mainly they form clots and stop or prevent bleeding. If you have an injury, they form clots. A low platelet count can put you at risk for uncontrolled bleeding. It is possible, that is what happens in dengue if it has reached a very, it is, infection is really high in your body. The platelets count really goes low. It can lead to uncontrolled bleeding within the body. It is also possible to have too many platelets in your blood. And if this happens, if the platelet count really increases, this leads to a potentially life-threatening condition relating to abnormal clotting. So clots will start forming in your body. Of course, then the blood flow and things are affected. Now, what is hemostasis? Hemostasis is the mechanism that leads to cessation of bleeding from a blood vessel. It is a process that involves multiple interlinked steps. So if you have an injury, obviously you have bleeding. So this is the process where which the body ensures that the bleeding stops through the formation of a clot or a plug. This cascade culminates into the formation of a plug that closes up the damaged site of the blood vessel, controlling the bleeding. This reaction stops bleeding and allows your body to start repairs on the injury area. whether you have a cut or a big injury, whatever. Now, to stop the loss of blood, the body works through the following stages. The first is vascular spasm. A blood vessel experiences sudden vascular spasm or a sudden and shortened tightening of the blood vessels caused by its smooth muscles. Vascular is related to the blood vessels. So there's a tightening caused by the blood vessels, smooth muscles within 30 minutes following its injury or trauma. This leads to vasoconstriction or the constriction of the vessels, blood vessels, narrowing of the blood vessels, which limits the blood flow to the injured area by blocking small blood vessels such as arterioles and small arteries. In addition, the injury causes the lining of the blood vessels to expose their collagen or structural proteins of a blood vessel wall to the blood cells. Now, the next stage is thrombocyte plug formation. In the second step, platelets, now the thrombocyte role starts, which normally float freely in the plasma, encounter the area of vessel rupture with the exposed underlying connective tissue and collagen fibers. The platelets begin to clump together, start joining together, become spiked and sticky, and bind to the exposed collagen and endothelial lining. This process is assisted by a glycoprotein in the blood plasma called von Willebrand factor, which helps stabilize the growing platelet plug. As platelets collect, they simultaneously release chemicals from their granules into the plasma that further contribute to hemostasis. So they work like this to form a kind of lining, a kind of to start binding and start covering the area of the injury. If this platelet plug is not enough to stop the bleeding, the third stage of hemostasis begins, the formation of a blood clot. Platelets contain secretory granules. When they stick to the proteins in the vessel walls, they degranulate. They release the granules, thus releasing their products. First, the blood changes from a liquid to a gel once they release these products. Then, at least 12 substances called clotting factors or tissue factors take part in a cascade, in a whole cascade of chemical reactions that eventually create a mesh of fibrin within the blood, a mesh kind of thing to stop the bleeding and to close the site. Each of the clotting factors has a very specific function. They are like prothrombin, thrombin, and fibrinogen are the main factors involved in the outcome of the coagulation cascade. Coagulation means clotting. Now, when blood vessels are damaged, vessels and nearby platelets are stimulated to release a substance called prothrombin activator, which in turn activates the conversion of prothrombin, a plasma protein, into an enzyme called thrombin. This reaction requires calcium ions. Thrombin facilitates the conversion of a soluble plasma protein called fibrinogen into long insoluble fibers or threads of the protein fibrin. So from soluble, it makes it insoluble so that it becomes in such a way that it cannot be pushed away or it doesn't dissolve. Fibrin threads wind around the platelet plug at the damaged area of the blood vessel, forming an interlocking network of fibers and a framework for the clot. This net of fibers, it traps and helps hold platelets, blood cells, and other molecules tight to the site of injury, functioning as the initial clot. This temporary fibrin clot can form in less than a minute and slows blood flow before platelets attach. Now, the last stage of hemostasis is when the body remodels the existing clot into a fibrin clot. Platelets in the clot begin to shrink, tightening the clot and drawing together the vessel walls to initiate the process of wound healing. Usually, the whole process of clot formation and tightening takes less than half an hour. The body does that because blood clots are a temporary patch, not a permanent solution. is just to stop the bleeding at that point in time. That will not make it exactly like the tissue. Then after that, which was there earlier, for example, if you have a small cut, you will see a clot forming there, but that is not exactly the tissue which was there before the cut. So to get that back, this clot also has to be slowly removed, and the place has to be healed. So that remove involves a process called fibrinolysis. During the fibrinolysis, the body remodels the clot into the same kind of tissue which was there before the injury. This, if you could see, first initially the vessel vasoconstriction, then primary formation of the clot, then the fibrin clot has happened, and then slowly after this, fibrinolysis will slowly happen, which will ensure that the tissue will be formed like the way it was before. Now, purpura. The purpura, also called blood spots or skin hemorrhages, refers to purple colored spots that are most recognizable on the skin. The spots may also appear on organs or mucous membranes, including the membranes on the inside of the mouth. Purpura occurs when small blood vessels burst, causing blood to pool under the skin. This can create purple spots on the skin that range in size from small dots to large patches. So there are two kinds of purpura. One is non-thrombocytopenic and thrombocytopenic. Panic means the thrombocytes are less in number. So one is um, formed when, it has nothing to do with the platelet levels in the blood. They are not less. So this kind of purpura is formed due to reasons other than thrombocyte levels being less. But thrombocytopenic means that you have a lower than normal platelet count. That is why your blood vessels have started bursting. Now we come to the physical qualities of blood. So, as we read before, the color of blood is scarlet red in arteries and purple red in veins. Please remember this because this is a question which is asked in the exams. It has 7.7% of body weight or one-third part. The quantity of blood in the body varies according to age and gender. In pregnant ladies, the quantity of blood increases by zero point 0.8 to zero point 0.2 liters because of increase in water. Now, acidity. Now, this is a question which is again asked, what is the pH value of blood? Blood is slightly alkaline. It is a little alkaline. So, its pH value is 7.4 plus minus 0.004. Life is possible up to the range of 6.4 to 7.8 pH. So, please remember the pH value of blood and remember it is slightly alkaline. Specific gravity. The specific gravity of blood is 1.057 plus minus 0.008. Now, viscosity in comparison to water, the viscosity is, which is 1, is 4 plus minus 0.5. Now, osmotic pressure or blood's osmotic pressure is primarily due to the plasma proteins in it. Remember, we studied about albumin and all. So, those plasma proteins initially, so they help maintain the albumin, globulin, and fibrinogen. So, they help maintain the osmotic pressure in blood. So, at 37 degrees Celsius, it is 291 to 292 gram per mole liter of water. Now, erythrocyte sedimentation rate. This is again an important concept. Now, an erythrocyte sedimentation rate is a blood test that can show if you have inflammation in your body. So, whenever you have infection and inflammation in your body, especially inflammation, an ESR test whatever is the rate of ESR will show how much is the level of inflammation in the body. Inflammation in your immune systems is your immune systems respond to injury, infection, and many types of conditions, including immune system disorders, certain cancers, and blood disorders. During this test, a small amount of your blood will be put in an upright tube. A lab specialist will measure the rate that your red blood cells settle down at the bottom of the tube after 1 hour. Normal reading is 0 to 20 mm in first hour. If you have a condition that causes inflammation or cell damage, your red blood cells tend to clump together. This makes them heavier so they settle faster. The faster your red blood cells settle and fall, the higher your ESR. A high ESR means that you may have an active disease process in the body, or inflammation is high, an infection is there. So please remember this. This is also asked. What does a high ESR mean? And what is ESR? Now we come to the functions of blood. This is also a question which is asked. So anything can be asked from this. The functions of blood. One is, of course, the first is transportation of respiratory gases. So transporting oxygen is a vital role of the red blood cells. At the same time, red blood cells will pick up waste carbon dioxide that has been released from the cells and entered the bloodstream. So transporting oxygen from the lungs to various parts of the body, and then picking up carbon dioxide from the body and sending it back to the lungs to make it pure again, make it oxygenated again. This blood does. Transportation of nutrients and excretory matter. Digested materials are absorbed into the blood through capillaries in the small intestine. They are then moved to the cells around the body where they are needed, because it is required by the body, without which the cells will not be able to function, without the oxygen or the nutrition. This we had discussed earlier. So it is the function of blood. Waste products are also transported to the organs that remove them from the blood and then eliminate them from the body. For example, excess water is filtered out by the kidneys and toxins are removed from the blood by the liver. So, this waste material being removed is also very important. Otherwise, if toxins build up in your blood, then again you have diseases and it can lead to conditions. If there's too much toxins which the body is not able to get, then it can lead to organ failures as well, and ultimately leading to death. So toxins regularly being released from your body is very important, and blood helps in that. Regulation of water. A grown-up has 40 liters of water and an extracellular fluid, uh, one 15 liters, and intercellular fluid 25 liters. Blood maintains the level of water in both. Now, regulation of blood pH. Due to cellular metabolism, our body generates 330 liters of carbon dioxide per day. If it is not removed, it will add to 15 liters of hydrochloric acid concentrate to blood. Now, hydrochloric acid means acid, so it will make the blood acidic. Whereas, if you remember, blood is slightly alkaline. That means it will make the blood toxic. So, this carbon dioxide needs to be removed from the body. So, blood helps to expel carbon dioxide and maintain blood pH. Now, regulation of body temperature. The blood plays a role in temperature regulation. It distributes the heat throughout the body from the core to the surface and vice versa. By changing the blood flow to the skin, the body can control heat exchange at its surface with its surrounding. So, increasing the amount and speed of blood flowing to and within the skin by widening the blood vessels, vasodilation, which is called vasodilation, allows more heat to be lost, thereby reducing body temperature. And narrowing the blood vessels, vasoconstriction, means less heat will be lost. This way, thereby maintaining the core temperature of the body. Now, defense, of course, we've read the white blood cells or leukocytes are the disease fighting components of the body. They account for just 1% of circulating blood but multiply during infection or inflammation. Coagulation, this also we've just read when a blood vessel tears due to an injury. Platelets and plasma proteins work together to stop blood loss. Platelets, thrombocytes clump and form a plug in the damaged area. The proteins form threads called fibrins to complete the platelet plug or clot. This is something we just read. So these are the functions of blood. Now we come to the immunological reaction, which is done by lymphocytes. Now, lymphocytes, the agranulocyte, part of leukocyte, it plays an important role in the immune system, which helps the body fight disease and infection. So there are two main types of lymphocytes. One is T cells and the other is B cells, T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. So T cells control your body's immune system response and directly attack and kill infected cells and tumor cells. The B cells make antibodies. Antibodies are proteins that target virus, bacteria, and other foreign invaders. So both of them originate from stem cells in the bone marrow and are initially similar in appearance. Now, some lymphocytes they migrate to the thymus, where they mature into T cells. Initially, they start from the bone marrow only, but some migrate to the thymus gland, which is a part of um, the endocrine gland also, and now it is mostly being considered a part of the lymphatic system also, where they mature into T cells. Others remain in the bone marrow, where in humans they develop into B cells. So the one which go to the migrate to the thymus, they mature into T cells, whereas they develop into B cells. Most lymphocytes are short-lived, with an average lifespan of a week to a few months, but a few live for years, providing a pool of long-lived T and B cells. These cells account for immunologic memory, a more rapid, vigorous response to a second encounter with the same antigen. So, once the components or the way the enemy, it's how it is made, what is it contains, everything is in the memory of these T and B cells. The next time there will be a faster response to the same virus or bacteria which enters the system. That is how a vaccine also helps you, because the vaccine helps in creating that memory of a particular virus or a bacteria. Now, through receptor molecules on their surfaces, lymphocytes are able to bind antigens, which are foreign substances or microorganisms that host recognizes as non-self, and help remove them from the body. Now we come to a T cell. There are two main types of T cells: cytotoxic T cells, which kill cells infected with viruses and bacteria, and they also destroy tumor cells. And then there are helper T cells. So these cells play a central role in coordinating the immune response. They activate B cells, cytotoxic T cells, and other immune cells, even the macrophages. So they send signals that tell other cells in your immune system how to coordinate and attack against invaders. So they help in this role. So immunity through T cells, the immune function is called cell-mediated immunity. It is facilitated by the T helper and cytotoxic T cells. Cytokines secreted by the T helper cells activate phagocytic cells, which phagocytose the pathogens and kill them. Each T cell is unique. It's designed to fight only one type of intruder. Once the immune system identifies the threat, It locates a specific T cell designed to defeat it and recruits that T cell for battle. The T cell copies itself, making more T cells to defeat the intruder. So that is how they help create, they increase in numbers. These T cells that join the fight are called effector cells. When the immune system is working properly, these effector T cells destroy the threat, helping rid you of infection and disease. Now, some of these T cells become memory cells instead of effector cells. Unlike effector T cells, memory T cells aren't fighters. Instead, they remember the intruder and its constituents so that if it returns, the immune system recognizes it and quickly mounts a defense. There are also suppressor T cells, which are now known as regulatory T cells. They act as a self-check mechanism that checks and blocks any excessive reactions. They function to block the ongoing immune response after the invading pathogen has been eliminated and also prevent autoimmune responses. In autoimmune responses, the body starts considering your healthy cells also as foreign bodies at times and starts attacking the healthy cells also. So to maintain that balance, the suppressor T cells help. Now the B cells, they are a type of white blood cells that make infection fighting proteins called antibodies. Now there are two main types of B cells. One is plasma cell. These release antibodies in response to antigen, and memory cells. Memory cells remember particular antigens, so if they appear in your body in the future, your immune system can mount a defense quickly. For example, the vaccines, they work because they expose your immune system to antigens that memory cells remember. On encountering a foreign substance antigen, the B cell differentiates into a plasma cell, which secretes antibodies. So, this type of immunity through a B cell is humoral immunity. It is mediated by antibodies. It shows a quick response against pathogens. Antibodies produced by plasma cells are closely modeled after receptors on precursor B cells. Following their release into the blood and lymph, they bind to the target antigen and initiate its neutralization or destruction. Antibody production continues for several days or months unless the antigen has been overcome. Other B cells, the memory cells, are stimulated to multiply but do not differentiate into plasma cells. They provide the immune system with the long lasting memories that next time when there is an attack, immediate action can be taken and faster action can be taken. So, so if you see here, the B cells, the T cells, they are all releasing, the helper cells are releasing type cytokines, and the B cells are releasing antibodies as a plasma, and this is how it is. The T cell receptor. Now we come to the topic of blood groups. So all of us have particular blood types. So every person has their own specific blood group. So a blood type, also known as a blood group, is a classification of blood based on the presence and absence of certain antibodies and inherited antigenic substances on the surface of red blood cells. These antigens, agglutinogens, are glycoproteins. An individual's blood type depends on which genes they inherit from their parents. So, your blood type will depend on what kind of genes you have inherited from your parents. So, accordingly, those kind of substances will be there in your RBCs. The blood group will depend on which antigens, agglutinogens, are on the surface of the red blood cells, and they are of two types, A and B. Now, white blood cells produce antibodies, which here are called agglutinins. The agglutinins present in blood serum are known as alpha and beta. These antibodies will target an antigen if they consider it a foreign object. Remember, this A and B, agglutinin is an antigen, and this alpha and beta, agglutinin, is an antibody. So these antibodies will target an antigen if they consider it a foreign object. This will result in agglutination, a reaction in which particles such as red blood cells or bacteria suspended in a liquid collect into clumps, and which occurs specially as a serologic response to a specific antibody. So when it collects into clumps, that means it has been attacked, ingested, and it has been made useless. This is why it is essential to match blood types when a person needs a blood transfusion. So how does this work? So blood group is named according to the presence of agglutinogen, agglutinogen in blood. So a person with blood group A has A agglutinogen and agglutinin beta. A person with blood group B will have B agglutinogen and alpha agglutinin. Blood group AB will have agglutinogen AB, that is both types of agglutinogens, and no agglutinin. And O has no agglutinogen, and it has both type of agglutinin. So this forms the basis of the classification, which is known as ABO system of blood group. Sorry, I'm not able to read this, so I had to minimize it. So if you see here, now if there is a blood transfusion which has to occur and one is selecting a donor. So here we have the donor's blood, which has the particular antigen, agglutinogen, AB, or none, which is there in O blood group. And we check the agglutinin antibody in the receiver. If it does not match, for example, if we give a person with A blood group, now this person has agglutinogen A and agglutinin B, beta, right? So what will happen? This person has agglutinin beta and this person has alpha, which is B, which is a person with who has a B blood group. What will happen? Agglutination will happen. This will consider it as a threat, and agglutination will happen. The antibody will attack the antigen and clumps will form. But if a person with A blood group gets blood from a person with A blood group, since the agglutinins are same, there will be no reaction and the blood can be given to this person. So similarly, we see that a person with B blood group can take blood from a person, from a donor who has B blood group, right? And vice versa. Now, if you actually see, if you see this over here, you will realize that um, a person with an AB blood group can take blood from everyone. all type of blood groups. Whereas a person with O blood group can give blood to every kind of blood group. That's why um, O blood group is considered to be a universal donor blood group. I hope this aspect is clear now. It is because of this kind of, that is why a blood test is done before a blood transfusion to see if the blood matches, the blood group is the one which is matching or not. Otherwise, there will be this agglutination reaction. And of course, when there is an agglutination reaction, then the RBCs will start forming into clumps, and we know what happens when RBC starts reducing. So one has to, that is why these tests are done before transfusion of blood. Now, another factor which is considered in a blood group is the Rh factor. This was initially found to be present in a rhesus monkey. Besides ABO system, um, a special type of agglutinogen is found in cell membrane of erythrocytes, RBCs. The Rh factor is a protein that can be found on the surface of red blood cells. If the blood cells have this protein, person is Rh positive. If the blood cells do not have this protein, person is Rh negative. The positive or negative part of the blood type, such as O positive or A negative, refers to the Rh status. Now, this is especially relevant um, in a condition where, during pregnancy, problems can happen if the mother is Rh negative and the fetus is Rh positive. This is called Rh factor incompatibility. Now, the Rh factor is also inherited, meaning it has passed from parent to child through genes. The fetus can inherit the Rh factor from the father or the mother. So, if the mother is Rh negative, maybe the father is Rh positive, and the child has inherited, you know, and become the Rh from the father and become Rh positive. Now, when the blood of an Rh positive fetus gets into the bloodstream of a Rh negative mother, by any chance, her body will recognize that the Rh positive blood is not hers. It will start thinking that. And it will start, obviously, if it's a foreign body, the immune system will start responding. So her body will try to destroy it by making anti-Rh antibodies. These antibodies can cross the placenta and attack the fetus's blood cells. This can lead to serious health problems, even death for a fetus or a newborn. A newborn can also die after few days, a few hours, within few hours, or maximum within few days, if this reaction starts. So that is why Rh factor is also checked. Now we come to the spleen. The spleen is the largest lymphatic organ in the body. It's the largest lymphatic organ. Please remember. We're not saying it's the largest organ. It's the largest lymphatic organ in the body. This bean-shaped organ is located in the left side of the abdominal cavity under the diaphragm, which is the muscular partition between the abdomen and the chest. In humans, it is about the size of a fist. In adults, it weighs 150 grams. Now, what are its functions? In an embryo, spleen forms blood cells, and in adult, in an emergency. We had spoken that even before birth, blood starts forming in the fetus with the help of the liver and spleen. So, that is what is mentioned here again. Spleen is called the graveyard of RBCs because after completion of the lifespan, RBCs are destroyed in spleen where they are ingested by pre-macrophages. So It also acts as a reservoir for blood, which can be pumped back into circulation if needed. So it stores 150 ml of blood for emergency. So you see, almost, almost a cup of blood can come out from the spleen in cases of emergency. The spleen also plays an important part in the immune system. When any unwelcome microorganisms like bacteria or virus is detected in the bloodstream, the spleen, along with the lymph nodes, jump into action and creates lymphocytes. So we said that blood is not only created in the marrow, it is created in various other parts, and spleen also helps in it. It creates lymphocytes, the blood cells. So spleen contributes the blood cells, and here we see it acts as a reservoir of blood, and it is also a graveyard of RBCs, right? So it removes the dead and unhealthy RBCs. It filters it also. It filters the blood. So lymphocytes then produce antibodies which weaken or kill bacteria, virus, and other organisms that cause infection. So in acute emergency, it contributes blood, blood cells, and water to the body. Its body is constituted with smooth muscles so that it can contract to a tune of O. Thus, the last drop of spleen fluid comes in circulation. This is how the spleen helps, not only in making of blood cells, but also in ensuring that the blood is kept clean. And in acute emergency, it contributes blood, blood cells, and water. So with this we end the blood chapter. Now, I would suggest please don't just stick to what is there in the book and what we study here. I would suggest that please go and read a little more. If you have another book, please read from that. If you can surf the net, please do that and try to um, you know learn more than what is being taught here, because blood is a very important chapter in many ways, that all through in any form of treatment you will see the one of the first things, as we discussed earlier also, is the doctor says that go and get a blood test report. And all these components, their increase or decrease, show what is happening inside your body. And if you don't know what is happening inside your body, then as a therapist, we cannot do the right treatment. So if we keep our therapy in mind, we have to understand that we need to know what is happening exactly in the body. And for this, yes, we have learned that there are various ways we can check, but blood report also gives us a clear picture. So knowing the various components of blood, what they do, and what should be their count, and what happens if they increase or decrease is very, very important. So please go read this chapter once again, try to understand and try to read a little more and see how you can apply it in your daily life. It is important for you also. Tomorrow you get a blood test, you realize, oh, what is happening in my body? Is my lymphocyte count high? Is my neutrophil count high? What is my hemoglobin level? It helps you understand what is happening in your body as well, right? And if, for example, somebody's hemoglobin level is yes, you give the treatment for hemoglobin, but you can suggest, are you having proper nutrition? You can suggest them having a balanced diet. You can suggest them, yes, you please go and check your B12 levels and other levels as well. So if you don't know, how will you suggest the person who's come for treatment? And you yourself can, of course, check these factors. Yes. So please now start thinking as a therapist whenever we learn anything, not just for the case, for treating yourself also and people around you or the people who come to you for treatment. Yes. Thank you very much. With this, we end the blood chapter. Over to you, Arvind, sir.
Thank you, Devika. Good discussion on blood. It came to an end. So blood is very important from the point of view of your health. That too for therapy too. And now we should. Okay, Devika, you can you can leave.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
any questions from anybody? If there is any question, either you ask here or you can post in.
Welcome, Surya.
Now we continue. Okay. We
Okay, all the best, everybody. I shall be leaving now to take your leave.
should. Now, in Ayurvedic medicine meridians, we are discussing in Ayurvedic chapter. We are discussing Ayurvedic meridians. Now, we see in Chinese meridian, they define it. This is the definition in Chinese acupuncture. The means whereby man is created. The means whereby disease occurs. That means from outside pathogens. And the means whereby man is cured. Man is cured through these meridians, Chinese meridians, and the means by whereby disease arises. That means inside the body, the disease arises. So the man is cured through these meridians. They were defined in Chinese acupuncture. Now, what Ayurvedic meridians are defined in Ayurveda? They say that all visible or invisible components in our human body, they are also one of the other form of meridians, or we say it shotas, because there are so many emotions, so many things, so many components inside our body. They all are shotas or meridians. Through them, the components of human body are created as well as degenerated. The same as it is said by that whereby man is cured and disease occurs. The same thing is there. So the definition is more or less the same one in Shrotas too. But in Chinese classical meridian, more or less only 14 meridians were there, and through them they were able to treat the diseases. This was the fundamental. But in Ayurveda, there are so many meridians. There are a number of meridians because shrotas are there innumerable. They cannot be counted in numbers. So now, but the basis is the same one. After the invent of this in classical Chinese meridian, only human body, they were the meridians were on the side of the body, and it was just vertical meridians. Normally it was vertical meridians, though there might be some horizontal meridians too. But we say we see that in the form of 14 meridians, there are only vertical meridians, either going upward or going down. This is the concept of if we stretch our body like this one, we can see that either the meridians are going up or meridians are coming from sky to earth. This is the, there might be some uh, horizontal meridians too. So in after advent of Professor Park Jae-woo, he studied the Indian literature too, and that's why Professor Park Jae-woo imagined hundreds of meridians, chakras, meridian, all that, and he was kind enough to study the Indian literature, Indian scriptures, and chakra meridians were also invented. The yoga chakra, which were the basic of uh, Ayurveda yoga, he invented also. He just put in our hands the same one, and he gave the theory of sujog, known as sujog theory. Sujog, su means hand and jog means food. That means sujog theory became very popular because of its very simplicity. In the human body, we cannot pick, we cannot insert any needle. Even pressing is not possible everywhere. But through these sujog theory, it was possible for us just to treat the hands, and in this way we can treat the body too. So on this basis too, when this Ayurvedic acupressure was developed in 2000, just 20 years back, 2001 or 2001 or 2000 AD. So we thought in this Sujok, Henri Sujok correspondence principle uh, was there in 1975, and our acupressure Shodh Prashikshan Upchar Sansthan, it started this Ayurvedic acupressure in the year 2000 or 2001. So it was possible for us just to treat our hands as our body, and it was quite possible for us to create meridians in our hands. That's why. So on the basis of our perspective, there were three meridians in Ayurvedic principle. In Ayurvedic acupressure, there were three types of meridians. Suppose we have to go to, to find some place in the body. As we go and see the map, there are just latitude and the point, just in mathematics, you have to go upward, you have to go horizontally, then you can find the place. So this is also one of the theory that vertical meridians are there, horizontal meridians are there, and there is third, the combo of vertical and horizontal meridian, that is a spiral meridian. When we study the human body, we will be able to understand this one. Now, these are three types of meridians: vertical meridian, horizontal meridian, and spiral meridian. And what is the basis of this one? That is how. In Ayurveda, we see Vat, Pitta, Kapha. Three forces are there. We say it forces, and they are said to be dosh only when they are in imbalance form. If they are in balance form, they are said to be forces because they just keep your body alive, vibrant, active, and all that. So three types of Vat, Pitta, Kapha, three forces were there. On this basis, we just accepted the theory And we created a theory, rather, virtually Ayurvedic acupressure created theory that in our hands there were three joints. You please concentrate on this one. There are three joints. One is known as proximal joint attached to the body. One is the medial joint, and one is the distal joint. So on this basis, we created that one is Vat, one is Pitta, and one is Kapha. So one joint related to Kapha, one joint related to Pitta, and one is Vat. And what Pitta, what Kapha? It should be understood by. Vat was a force which consisted of space as well as air. Air is air has got the highest movement other than man, less than mind. The movement of what is very powerful while moving. So you see this finger, when it is moved from upward, it moves to a certain more degree, and this joint moves to a lesser degree, and this proximal joint moves very less, very lesser degree, it can be said. Now, what was a force known for its movement? So this joint was said to be Vat joint, and this was Pitta joint. Second was Pitta joint, and Kapha joint, because Kapha has the uh, is formed with the help of earth as well as water. So earth is, what is the nature of earth? Stability is the nature. Hardness is the nature. It's stable, doesn't move. So a combination of earth as well as water will give more stable, force. That was how these three joints were named: Kapha joint, Pitta joint, and Vata joint. This is the creation of three joints. Now, this is all. In the thumb, we say only two joints are there. So the proximal joint is known as Kapha joint, while the distal or medial joint, it consists of Vata as well as Pitta. So this is the theory for formation or plotting of Vata, Pitta, Kapha in our joints. Now at the same time, now since in one finger, you just remember the concept of Chinese acupressure. When 5 shoe points were there, that means they were related to element point. So, and we say in every building, every object has been created by 5, in Chinese theory, 5 elements. One is wood, second is fire, third is earth, fourth is metal, and fifth is water. And we say that everything is formed out of these one. So in every meridian, there were 5 points representing wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. In the same way, this finger, which represented, suppose I plot any organ in it, even then it can be said that if this organ consists of all these elements, whatever element has been proposed in Ayurvedic concept, Ayurvedic acupressure. So the the Vad joint, which consists, suppose there are meridians. So vertical meridians are plotted in this way, from lower proximal joint to upper joint. So 10 meridians in this finger, there were 10 meridians, because we say that 10 origin, 10 dravyas principle is there, and we have got Kal, Disha, Man and Atma. That is time, direction, Man, that is the mind, and soul, and Tam, darkness. There are also, so five dravyas, five physical and five metaphysical. Five physical, Mahabhut, and five metaphysical dravya. They created our body, and they are responsible to create our body. That's why in every finger we keep 10 elements. That means 10, 10 vertical meridians are there created. In the same way, horizontal meridian, the concept of horizontal, and so I must tell you the basis. The basis of these meridians is that you just see this zero point is just in, suppose I say it is yang inside. This is inside, this is yang side. This is, suppose since we know also Chinese theory, this is inside and this is yang side. So we start from zero, from inside, zero, and it goes upwards. Now one force, we just understand this one. 0, 1 and 4, these are the forces. We just understand this one. 0, 1, 4. This theory. There are 10 elements. 0, 1, 4, 5, 8. These come one side, and this will go to other side. This should be kept in mind. Now this one, 0 starts from the middle of finger. Now 0 is there, and towards thumb, 1 and 4. Towards this 1 and 4 will come towards thumb side, and 2, 3, they are other forces, they come towards finger side. While in thumb side, if you visualize here that 0 is here, then 0 is in the middle of it in thumb side, and 1 and 4 will come to the finger side. 1, 4 finger side, and 2, 3 other side. This is the system. That is means 0 is in the middle of inside, and 1 and 4 will come to the thumb side, while 2 and 3 will come to the finger side. But when we consider this thumb, 0 will come in the middle, but 1 and 4 will come to side of finger, while 2 and 3 will come to other side. This way we can plot the things. Now this was vertical meridian. In this way, we suppose 2, 3 is there, we can move 2, 3, 6, 7, because we said that 2, 3, 6, 7, 9, they were the forces, different forces, that was more active forces, and 0, 1, 4, 5, 8. So we can move 0, 1, 4, 5, 8. And in this way, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. 9 will come on the middle of the back. Middle line will be there. On the yang side, 9 will come in the middle of yang side. The same way, we developed a concept of horizontal meridian. So in finger, what was there? 0, but horizontally we have created lines. So this was 0. The proximal joint was 0, horizontal. This middle joint, which is known as pith joint, it was 3. And this Vata joint was 6, sixth meridian, horizontal meridian. And the rest of lies here. So 0, 1, 2. There are 2 meridians only between 0 and 3, 1 and 2. So during up to pith joint, 0, 1, 2, and 3 meridians were there. The same way, 4th, 5th, and 6th up to the Vata joint, and then 7, 8, and 9. You can see here this one. This is the horizontal meridian. 0, 1, 2, 3. 3 on the middle joint, that is pith joint, and 4, 5, 6. 6 at the Vata joint, and 7, 8, 9. In this way, this horizontal meridian was created. While in the side of this, you can see vertical meridians 0, vertical 0 goes there, 1 and 4 they just go to finger side, and 2, 3 just come to different side. And now horizontal meridian, this thumb, this joint, which was known as, suppose beside middle joint and the fifth joint too, up to this joint, this fifth number came, fifth horizontal meridian came, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after that 6, 7, 8, 9. This way 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 meridians came over here, and after that 6, 7, 8, 9. This was the horizontal meridian. Now there is a combination of a spiral horizontal meridian and vertical meridian. We will come to know why this was created. So this goes, the theory of this one is that this goes from 0 to 1. That means where the horizontal meridian and vertical meridian meet, that is the number. Suppose one horizontal meridian and one vertical meridian, where it meets, it is the 1 point. Where second horizontal meridian and second vertical meridian meet, that is the second point. That second point. Where third horizontal meridian and third vertical meridian meet, that is the point number 3. Where fourth horizontal meridian and fourth vertical meridian meet, that is the point of 4, and so on. So this was going zigzag way. That is a combination of horizontal meridian and vertical meridian. With the help of horizontal meridian and vertical meridian, we created this. This is known as a spiral meridian, going zigzag way. Now this is the basic theory. Now the plotting of organs. We have to plot the organs. Until unless we plot the organs, we cannot treat any organ. That's why the plotting of organs were there. We started from right side. Why? 1 was there. 1, 1, and this was 5, this was 4, and this was 8. Yesterday I told you this is the basic, and this was 0. Right thumb was 0. This was 1. Right thumb was 0. This was 1, and this was 5. This was 8, and this was right index were number 4. So these, now we start plotting. We start from right hand. So first number is, what is first number? First number is space, Akash. First number is space. First energy is space. As in Chinese theory, we see lungs meridian. Lungs meridian consists of 2 organs. That is, one organ is lungs and one is large intestine. The same way, what space was creating? Space, what space was doing? What is the function of space? It absorbs the waste material through those gases, the dust particles and all that, even carbon dioxide and all that, and it gives oxygen to you in the air, in the form of oxygen to you. This was the function of Akash, that means space. What lungs is doing? It is also doing the same thing. It is accepting oxygen and just sending out the carbon dioxide. So this was like space. So lungs was kept in, this was in meridian. Lungs was there in Chinese theory. This was in meridian. So what is the nature of in? In is just contracting. And what is yang? Yang is just pervading, just go out. So this in meridian, that means on the point of cuff joint, we kept lungs. Now we have to keep, we have to plot the LI2, large intestine 2. What large intestine is doing? It is doing the same thing, just putting out, yes, sending out the waste material, and what is accepted was water, minerals, vitamins. It is just keeping within the body. That is also function like metal, that metal there, that is lungs. The function of lungs and the function of large intestine more or less identical, the same. So large intestine was kept on the upper joint because it was yang in nature. Yang nature, that means more movement. Yang nature means more movement. So hence this LI was, large intestine was plotted on the what joint, while on the cuff joint lungs was plotted. Now second energy is air. Now in our theory, Ayurvedic theory, what is the function of heart? What is the function of Vayu? What is the function of air? Air is known for its movement. Gamansheel, just going with a very high speed. The same speed is shown by heart. It travels throughout our body within 0.8 seconds. So this heart resembles with air of Brahman, of cosmos. Now, what is the function of heart and SI? The function of SI is small intestine is why it is kept. This was even in the theory of Chinese acupressure as well as in Ayurvedic acupressure, that heart and SI, small intestine, were kept together and they were said to be couple meridian, couple of organs. So now, what is the function of SI, small intestine? The blood which is created, the blood, the water, the food, the water, the air we intake, that is converted and first digested, and then it is absorbed by SI, small intestine. What for? Just to make blood, which is the product, which is our product. That is very important product for us. And all our digestive system is like a machinery, that like a factory. It is just creating, yeah, manufacturing blood, human blood. And this SI, this small intestine, absorbs the constituents which are kept in vessel of the blood, and their blood is formed with the help of water, known as plasma. Now, this function of SI is just to manufacture the blood. What is the function of heart? It is like a transporter which just transports this blood to our cells, just to satisfy the needs of our cells. So the function of heart as well as SI are more or less complementary to each other. Hence, heart and SI were kept together as one organ pair. Now, since heart is in organ, hence heart was placed in the cuff, finger number second, finger number 2, cuff joint. And small intestine is young organ, hence it was plotted in Vat joint. Now come third. This is the third finger. This finger number third. And what is the energy of finger number third? Energy finger number 3. That is energy number 3 is fire. What is the function of fire? Fire virtually detoxifies, just transforms to a good one, to a newer one. A product is transformed into a newer one and more usable. The same function is that of liver. Liver and gallbladder, they are both pair organ. Why? Liver manufactures bile juice, and this bile juice is stored in gallbladder. Hence, function of liver and gallbladder are identical, more or less the same, just complementary to each other. It is stored in gallbladder as well as it is concentrated in gallbladder. That too. So, what liver's function is why liver's function is identical to Agni, fire? Because it also detoxifies. It also kills bacteria and cleans the body out of just by killing bacteria. So this is the function of liver, and hence liver is in organ. That's why it was plotted in cuff joint, while gallbladder was plotted on Vat joint. Now come to the point of fourth number, finger number 4. Fourth is the Mahabhut. We can say Dravya, we can Mahabhut. The fourth is water, and in water, it was also in Chinese therapy. It was also in Chinese theory that kidney and urinary bladder were kept together, and they said they are pair organ. What the use of it? Why? Because kidney just filters the blood, and out of this filtration, what is waste product, that is urine, is taken out, and that out of blood, and then it goes to urinary bladder and is stored there. So kidney and urinary bladder are doing the same job. The urine is formed as well as urine is stored in the bladder. So they are kept, they are said to be one pair organ. And what is the role of function? What is what water is doing? This kidney represents the water material all over the body. It regulates the water. That's why it is associated with water. And hence, kidney being an in organ kept plotted in cuff joint, while urinary bladder was plotted in bath joint. Then comes finger number 5, right ring finger. Finger number 5, right ring finger. Now, only one physical element is there, kept in balance, that is earth. What earth is? Earth just gives us the material, the vegetables, the foods, the water, the air, and all that. It nourishes like mother. The same way, why spleen and stomach were kept together? Because in Chinese theory, spleen and stomach, they both help each other to create the food energy out of food taken by you. So this is the reason they are kept together. Their function is the same one, just to create food energy out of food intake. Now, what they are just doing, they are just nourishing us, because unless and until they create this energy, food energy, out of this food, we cannot survive. They are just doing the same thing as our mother, this mother earth, is doing. Hence, they were associated with earth, and spleen being an in organ kept in cuff joint, while stomach being or young organ was plotted on bath joint. Sixth number came to Kal, that is the time. So this time, this what happened? This the Kal, the time, is the first to just tell us this is the season, this is the spring season, this is the winter season, this is the day, this is the night. So through this, the information of environment comes to us. So this is the function of Kal, time. Now what is the function? Now here, this was the new plotting. It was not in Chinese literature. It was a new plotting. We say that nervous system, which spine and medulla. Spine is the nervous part of the nervous system, central nervous system, which just for the first time, any information from outside world or environment comes to us through our spine. Hence, and medulla is known as the medulla. After this spine is there, medulla and brain stem starts just on the back of this point. where this one, the spine, cervical spine number 0 is there, then medulla is there, and medulla is the last part of the lowest part of the brain stem, and medulla, then pons, then midbrain is there. So this, the medulla and the spine, which were for the first time giving any information from this environment, it was kept in kal, that is time. So associated with kal, and hence medulla was plotted in cuff joint, while spine was plotted on back joint. Now, from 6-1, we associate the metaphysical, and we know in modern science, this nervous system, this all nervous system belongs to that particular metaphysical. So, 6 number, 7 number. What is 7 number? 7 number is direction. 7 number is direction, middle joint, left middle finger. Now, this, what in our brain stem, pons is there after medulla, pons is there. So pons was kept on upper joint, that is means what joint, and disha. What is the direction? Direction means control of where to move, where to aim at, where to go, what is good for us, which direction is good for us, metaphysically as well as physically. If we have to go to any direction, suppose we have to go in southward, and there are any station is just 200 kilometers. Suppose we don't move to south and we move to north, okay, we will come to that particular place, but after so many, might be so many years, so many days, we can reach that destination. But if we move to the south direction, we can just take the place after 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. So this metaphysical and physical both direction is there, and in brain stem, this pons was there, and cerebellum was there. What is the function of cerebellum? Cerebellum is a part of the brain which is controlling your body and body language. Suppose a person who drinks, he cannot concentrate on the same direction, on the same lines, the same pathway. He cannot. He will move either left side or right side, then again left side or right side. So that is the cerebellum is just controlling the posture of the body. That's why this is known as, this is plotted in the cuff joint of the middle finger, left middle finger. Now the last one is finger number 8. Finger number 8, we will finish it then one. Finger number 8, what is man? What is mind? What is the nature of mind? It just thinks, it translates, it visualizes, it analyzes, analysis, visualization, ideas. This is the function of the mind. Hence, and we see in brain stem, after medulla, pons was there, and then midbrain was there. Midbrain, by its definition, is the middle, lies in the middle of cerebrum and cerebellum. That is the big brain and lesser brain, big brain and a small brain. This. So it was midbrain. So in brain stem, this medulla was kept in sex one, was plotted in figure number 6, and at finger number 7, pons was there, and finger number 8, midbrain was plotted on one joint. Now there is a limbic system. We just can understand very well. That system means that more than one organ is involved. So you cannot be said that brain is not a complete organ. Brain is an organ, but brain has got so many parts. This limbic system controls all your ideas, all your behavior, all your the thirst, the time management, the ideas, and all that. This is a limbic system. It consists of 9 small parts. It consists of 9 small parts. So, and hypothalamus is the chief of this one, limbic system. So, limbic system was plotted on the cuff joint of middle finger, right middle finger. Now come to finger number 9. Finger number 9, there, there was Watt joint and there was cuff joint. So, this was on the Watt joint. It was cortical brain. That means the brain, the it is the brain, the part, the upper part of that one, upper part of brain is known as cortical brain, which is responsible for many functions because it carries gray matter. It is made up of gray matter. That means gray matter is made up of your nervous systems, cells, bodies, cell bodies. Hence, these cortical brain was plotted on the Watt joint. And nucleus, since we said this is Atma, this belongs to Atma, that is means soul. So nucleus of the brain, which was the most powerful, it also carries the nervous cells. All nerve cells were there. So it was at the core of the brain. This nucleus was kept over here. This is the function. Now come to 0. This is the 10th organ known as thumb. That is darkness is energy. Now there was excretory system and reproductive system too. So reproduction system just like that of yang nature, because it is just creating something. So it was kept on Watt joint, and the excretory system was kept in the cuff joint. In this way, we plotted the organs. The plotting of organs were there. Now it is possible for us. Now, for endocrine and all that, we will discuss in later on page. But now, just we are thinking that this is the system of the plotting. Now, in the same way, now we concentrate on this one. Why this was there? Tulyartha. Oh, this is Tulyartha only. No. This way. This vertical meridian, you just see this vertical meridian, zero meridian starts from this point in the middle part of the body, just near gonads. It goes, this goes up to chest region. This is chest region, sternum, then neck, then nose, then it goes to head. One is the right side, on the right side of one plotted. So one is on the right side, one just lies, and it is just touching this large intestine, small intestine, then again going upward, left lung, right lung, then goes lips, right lips, then touching eyes, then goes. The same way, two number, vertical meridian. It is touching large intestine. This one, descending colon, stomach, stomach, then pancreas, then touching heart, then goes upward, then no, this one lips, left side lips, then nose, then touching one side of eye, left side of eye, one side, outer side, there goes. Then this is four number, right side, four number, 1 4, right side, four number, it touches the kidney, I think, kidney, then it goes liver, right side liver, on side right side, then go to and touching the outer side of eyes and cheeks and outer side of, then it goes there. The same way, three number is this one. This one, three number just goes descending, no, descending, yes, descending colon, touching descending colon, and then spleen, pancreas, then left lung, then throat, then outer side of left eye, then on the head. The same way, five number, right side, five number will come to right side, then it is on the side of the body, ribs are there, and then it is touching, and this one is up to this one, arms and arms, upper arms, and then on the side of neck it going go, and the touching ear, right ear, and goes upward. This way, 6 meridian there. Now the same on the back of it, these are fixed in seven meridian, just this touch, it may kidney, touching kidney, and this bones, and then goes the neck area, and then for the hindbrain, and then goes upward. The same way, 8 number, this one, touching kidney, ribs, lungs, right lung, and then goes upward. This one. This is the 9 number. 9 number just in between. Thus, spine is touching his spine, over his spine. This meridian, where governing vessel meridian is there in Chinese. 9 VM is governing vessel meridian, and this 0 meridian is just conception vessel meridian, like that one. This is on this basis we can make a treatment or make a protocol just to this is the vertical meridian. These were identified. The same way, horizontal meridian are there. Now what is there? 0 at the gonadal area, this 0, then 0 horizontal meridian, 1 meridian just above Second meridian on touching this one, large intestine, upper ascending colon and descending colon too. Then this third meridian, it is touching stomach. Then this one fourth, this three and fourth, this is liver is there, and this is fourth, thus touching lungs. Heart too. This sixth number, clavicle bone. On the clavicle bone, this is there, and on sixth, this is on the throat area. Seventh is at the lips area. Then eight is just eyes, and nine on the head of it. The same way, on the back of it, we can see one horizontal meridian, second horizontal meridian, and third horizontal meridian touching kidney. This is kidney, and thus fourth one is just ribs, back ribs, and then fifth meridian just above lungs, and sixth on the neck of it, seventh on the back of your brain part, head, and eighth just between the one, and ninth one, the upper one. This in this way, this meridians way we can visualize. On this basis we can treat that too. On the same number here we can find there. And this is a spiral meridian, a combo of that meridian, this one. This is just like a body. Suppose zero is there, just see. Suppose zero is there, one meridian is there. The one, this is one, this right one is one vertical meridian and one horizontal meridian. It is the meeting point of one horizontal and one vertical. The same way, this is second meridian, second vertical meridian. So, and this is second horizontal meridian, the meeting point of two. Meeting point of second meridian, vertical, horizontal, both. This is the meeting point, that two. This is the third meridian, which is going to, which is touching, this is the point where horizontal meridian number 3 and this is vertical meridian number 3 and horizontal meridian number 3 meets. Then this is number 4. In this way, this travels the whole body in a zigzag way. Now, what is the purpose of it? The purpose is that when we treat any vertical meridian, very young, any young organ, that means what is young nature? Young nature is that the disease is just has the disease attack just. It is the acute condition. In acute condition, young organ is affected. Hence, we have to treat the vertical meridian. And if in organ is affected, that means acute condition is transformed into some deep inside body. Then the structure of particular organ is affected. Hence, we treat the horizontal meridian. And now, when the disease has entered into deep inside your body and it has got the nature of chronic, then we have to treat the spiral meridian. The spiral meridian at the level of tissue. It affects at the level of tissue. That for these they were created. Now this is sufficient for, I think, uh, this is completed now. You can nail chakra you can also understand that one. Nail chakra is given on this one. These the chakra on the nail are known as nail chakra. The number is same. The number is same as you say, but it is on the yang side, and it is because nail is always on the yang side. Hence, the number is the same. And if we put any methi seed or any star magnet or any magnet on the just tip of the nail, just tip of the nail, just middle, the lower middle of the nail, it is treated, it is said to be treated on the nail chakra. This is the concept. This is just position of nail chakra according to 10 origin. The same way, one number is there, five number is there, 1584. This is the numbering, and 0. And here 2 6 2 3 6 7 9. This one 2 6 7 3 9. This is the on the left side of the left hand. It is on the left hand, and nail chakra is nothing but the chakra, the points in the nail. Hence, it is so, since they were very important energy receiver through through cosmos. Hence, it was said to be very important nail chakra. That is their importance. On this basis, we have just put in the. You can understand later on. It is a condition, but this chapter is finished. The Ayurvedic meridians, and now we will come next time. We will discuss 10 Dravya theory. 10 origin principle we will discuss later on when we come. So this is sufficient. Any question from anybody? Put questions on group so that we can communicate each other. Amila ma'am, absent. Pamela ma'am, you are not. It is a new concept, new theory, Ayurvedic theory. Hence, might be some you can face some difficulty in grasping it, but this is the theory part of it, and practice part also is going on. We are just concentrating on this one. Yes, Kelvin sir.
Yes, just one probably an odd question, right?
Yeah.
Based on what you're just teaching there with the joints and everything,
Mm.
why do we wear the ring finger, the ring on our ring finger? Is there a particular I
Ring
don't
on
know.
finger.
Yeah.
Ring in that is also virtually, if you think in this way, this is also pressure points. Whether it is ring finger or it is middle finger or it is any finger, it is just pressure point. And we can say in Chinese theory too, in Dr. Wall's theory too, where there are some meridians. Some meridians are there. That's why it is very important. Every finger we have got some meridians in every finger, according to Dr. Wall. That is the most scientific study. He said, he just proved it, that there are some meridians on the side of every finger. So just concentrate on this one, because it is too early to explain all that. But just understand that these all ring fingers and all that, all fingers, they have got some pressure points too. You will come to know in third semester when you will study Dr. Wall what miraculous study he has done. And he was just modern science, he was just doctor, engineer, doctor, and all that. So he invented a dermatron machine, and through that, he proved it that points exist on the bone, on the side of the bone. That's why if you put any ring on any finger, that is, or even in on the foot too, we can say that small finger, heart, and small intestine. This is what nowadays. This is just lymph meridian and lungs meridian. This is large intestine meridian. This is nerve degeneration meridian, ND meridian. This is AD meridian, allergy.
It was mentioned to me.
This is circulation meridian. This is triple Warman meridian, and which is the controller of endocrine system. Answer is there, but miraculous it is. We don't know through theory. We came to know that, but until unless, because suppose I'm a layman, and any doctor says that you take these pills, I'll just swallow it and say it's okay. But I will not go into the constituents of that particular medicine. Should I go? No one goes. I think there are so many, very few persons who just thinks, well, okay, what is the constituents? Only then I will take it. So that was the common nature of every citizen was there, that our ancestors, which were rishis and all that, they just said that you put on this one. You know the bichia on the second toe, big toe, just beside big toe, ladies just wear bichia. That is stomach meridian and joint degeneration meridian. That is very important. Stomach meridian. We are just controlling what I'm saying. It is just like mother, spleen and stomach. It is creating energy. So that is very important. And small toe, kidney and urinary bladder meridian. Big toe, liver and spleen meridian. Right big toe, liver and pancreas meridian. Fat meridian. There are fat meridian, fat degeneration meridian. So many. All fingers have got one or two meridians. One here, one this. Every side, and on the side of the bone, there is bone side, lateral side, which is known as lateral side. Hence, we say that we should put this small ring, and we just make this is Acu Yoga. Every meridian. You will come to know in third semester only. Miraculous word. This virtually this therapy is different from other therapy. That's why it is our strength too. For mental problems, gallbladder meridian and UV meridian, they are very important. For headache, GB meridian is controlling. 3 meridians are controlling your eyes, liver, as well as stomach meridian. Can you say that nodes on the breast can be treated by stomach meridian? but it is being treated by Ayurvedic acupressure and Chinese acupressure too. That is the stomach meridian, just goes side of the, just touching breast. Kidney meridian, just inside of. They are responsible. Kidney, urinary bladder, this conception vessel meridian, they all are stomach meridian too, upper, this side, any node, stomach meridian. So that is miraculous. But we will come to know later on. This is the this is the beginning. We cannot say that this is complete one, but it is beginning. But terms should be understood by you all. I just say there are terms which must be understood by us so that it will create our knowledge, whether in modern science, whether physiology, or it is Chinese or it is Ayurvedic words. Unless we know that what is time, what is kal, what is direction, we cannot understand the value of him. That's why any depression level, any depression, any type of insomnia, both use methi seeds in both middle finger, both middle joint. Both middle finger, middle joint. Okay, sir. Okay, Angela ma'am. Namaskar. And again, good evening to everybody. Good morning to.
Namaste and good morning. Thank you so much.